Like, do I up my investment?
You should. Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatard, joined alongside Dawg.
Mike, it's been a busy week. We haven't had football for a while, but we got free agency cooking. What stood out to you?
Well, I liked all the moves. There was one thing that I settled on in a way. Like Russell, he's been talks about all these trades, and I was like, if we just trade and get like a first round and maybe somebody with potential, it could be okay. Because you still got Pete there. Pete's like the life of the party.
Who is we? You are the Seahawks in this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as like a Seahawk, it's been a ride with the Seahawks for a while.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, as a Seahawks fan, I came to an idea like, okay, it's okay if Russell goes. But then I saw a story come out, and the Bears offered them a huge trade package. They turned it down, and obviously they ended up with Andy Dalton. So probably back.
So on our show, we have a big dick energy. We don't need to get to it yet. Don't play the sound yet. Okay. We need like a big loser energy because the Bears are the big losers of free agency. The idea that Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson are potentially available. We don't know if they'll get traded. We hope they do. Well, one of them at least. Maybe not both.
One of them.
But the idea that they're both available, yet on the second day of free agency, you give Andy Dalton $10 million. That's a lot of money. Jacoby Brissett is a great backup for the Dolphins. He's making $5 million. If you were a Bears fan and you just went through 5 years of Trubisky, and the same guy who drafted Trubisky is still there, the same coach who said that Trubisky was the guy is still there, how are the Bears, how do they have any fans left? How can you possibly go to a game in Chicago this year?
Don't you feel like it's like just a thing? Like they survived this terrible winter in Chicago. It's cold. They just like kind of get the press. And I feel like when football's back, they almost forget about it. Like it was like a dream in a sense. Like, oh, it was free.
The previous season was always a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, oh, this year will be better. I mean, didn't they go to the playoffs? There was like some hope of possibility if Mitch Trubisky wasn't as bad. He could have been, maybe Andy Dalton is the guy they needed. They just need a competent, secure ball holder, somebody that could just throw the ball at all. And I think that was Andy Dalton. So good for them.
No, they need to do better. They have a good roster outside of the quarterback position, and Andy Dalton sucks. He was okay for the Cowboys. He's not the answer. Do you know how many playoff games he's won in his career, Mike?
0, right?
0. Tim Tebow has more wins in the NFL in the playoffs as a quarterback than Andy Dalton. That's a crazy stat that is factually true, and I just think it's ridiculous that the Bears I mean, maybe you make a good point. Chicago is crazy where all summer they drink and they come out of their hibernation from the winter, just like a bear does. Good one. And come September, it's all it's all football, and it's like a blur.
Like, that's not the thing. Oh, here. There it is.
Yeah, it's just all a blur to them. It's sad to be a Bears fan. Luckily, we have great franchises to root for, like the Dolphins, so we're fine.
So the salary cap was cut. So it wasn't cut a ton, but it was cut enough. So it went from 198 to 182. So big cut. You're probably losing a few key players there. Do you want to do bullshit or believe? Because I basically have bullshit or believe on some of the bigger moves. Let me find it. I got a new board here that I think might make it easier for me, but clearly I can't find bullshit or believe.
Not off to a good start.
Yeah. So no bullshit or believe. Oh, here it is. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe. Okay. So first one, bullshit or believe. Andy Dalton going to make an impact. He got $10 million for 1 year in Chicago, which seems like a placeholder because they couldn't get Russell. I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. Maybe get somebody else, but bullshit or believe, is this making an impact for the Bears?
Well, it's just tragic. The only impact will be the amount of booing that goes on in Chicago, because if you really want to upgrade the quarterback position and you can't get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, the answer is to tank and to trade everyone away for draft picks. And then next year, not this year because they picked 19th, the following year, you pick a quarterback up high. Andy Dalton is the guy who's going to go 8-8 or 7-9. He did it for the Cowboys. He's done it for the Bengals. He's going to do it for the Bears, and they're going to pick 19th again. Andy Dalton will be a free agent next year. And then what? You're in the exact same situation.
So what was it seemed like a lot of people rushed to sign mediocre talent quarterbacks. And I thought going into this offseason, it seemed like there were a lot of available quarterbacks, but we'll talk to him about it in a minute. But like Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, Cam Newton, like these guys were available, but for some reason the Bears settled on Andy Dalton, which I don't understand. I don't know if there's a strategy behind it, Because didn't they have Mitch, and then who did they play mid-season?
Nick Foles, he's still there.
Nick Foles is still there. So they have 3 quarterbacks that are below average, we can say, right?
Trubisky's gone finally. He'll be a free agent. So it's the other 2 veteran guys. All those quarterbacks kind of signed for the same amount. It was Tyrod, it was Fitzpatrick, it was Andy Dalton, all like the same amount of money. Brissett was less, and I think Jacoby Brissett might be the best of them all at this point. I know Fitzpatrick had a good run for the Dolphins. He's getting old, so don't tell me he's not old.
No, I'm telling you he's old. But I just don't understand the strategy to it, because like it didn't make sense to me why, just talking about the Bears and Andy Dalton, it didn't make sense. It's like there's all this other talent, other young guys.
I agree. The first 5 minutes of the show are all about how they didn't make sense.
I know,
it's
it
just
make sense.
It's tragic. I have a one for you. I have a question.
All right, go.
Bullshit or believe? Cam Newton, your boy, will succeed in New England with all the new weapons, because Belichick went to town. He got Jonnu Smith. He got Hunter Henry. He got all these defensive players. This is like a chance for Cam to shine.
I don't think it is. I don't think Cam has it. I don't love Cam. I think he's a very pouty player, very emotional on and off the field. I like that they got weapons. They went shopping on Tuesday or Monday, whatever the free agency opened up.
Yeah.
They literally
went shopping, and he never
everybody.
goes shopping. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that was surprising.
I like the Hunter Henry deal. I don't understand that why the Chargers let go of Hunter Henry. I thought he was like the number one weapon.
You have a young quarterback. What's the quarterback's best friend? A tight end. You played Madden. You know where the money's at in the middle of the field with the tight end. And Herbert's not going to have that. Like, what the hell?
So all these things just don't make sense. What I have the deal up here. The Patriots signed Hunter Henry for $37 million for the next 3 years, which as a Charger, which I know there's some Chargers fans that listen here, our friend Thomas, big Chargers fan.
Those are the only 2 Chargers fans on earth, because when they moved to LA, they don't have many fans, but Thomas is. He does exist.
I don't know. It's weird. All these moves don't make sense. So like on one, the Chargers are now in LA and they're just getting rid of potentially superstar talent. Hunter Henry, he was great. He was the tight end. So they get rid of him. They go to the Patriots. I love the deal for the Patriots. Patriots love tight ends. Why would you let go of this? I am confused. Like, none of this makes sense, Jeremy. And I understand the salary cap, but why didn't the Chargers keep him?
I can't answer that. What are the Chargers doing? We don't know. They did sign a center, so maybe they thought upgrading the offensive line was a bigger deal than giving Herbert weapons. But outside of Keenan Allen, I mean, on the outside their receivers are not real well known. And if you take Hunter Henry out, it's not a good skill position setup for the Chargers. So I don't know what they're doing. Also, they have the 3rd most cap space available as of right now at this hour, as of 5 p.m. Eastern after free agency began. They have the 3rd most cap space after the Jets and the Jags. So they had the money to sign Henry.
It just nothing makes sense. But still, I'm going to say bullshit.
You bypassed my question.
Yeah, I know.
So bullshit on Cam. Succeeding.
Cam.
I agree. What are the Patriots doing? And maybe we talk about that for a second, because they throw all this money. I mean, they throw all this money out there, and why? Because Belichick never does it. Did he get mad that they were bad last season? Maybe a bullshit or believe. Is Belichick saw Brady win a Super Bowl, and he goes, fuck it, I'm going to spend all my money for the first time in free agency.
I just wonder if can they sign and trade Cam? Do they have assets to trade away during the draft? Like, can they go after something else?
Trade can't. They just signed him to a 1-year deal. How do you?
I know, but can you not trade him? I don't know. I'm just trying to see what's the play here. Cam Newton was absolutely terrible. Are we saying that maybe having their backup quarterback, which I forgot his name, but Driscoll, is it Jeff Driscoll, or is that somebody
Jared
else?
Stidham.
Jared Stidham.
Good quarterback roulette there.
Yeah.
Spun the wheel of backups.
I don't understand. Is it like motivation? Like, all right, Cam, we're going to start our other guy and hopefully you get better, because I didn't see anything good. And you can blame COVID. You can blame it was the first year on the team, but I saw what's his name? Why can't I'm forgetting names right now? The quarterback on Herbert, Justin Herbert on the Chargers, and he did a great job. He stepped in for Tyrod and was great. I don't understand any of this. I'm very confused. I saw all these and I wrote them all down, and everything blew my mind. Cam Newton, it doesn't make sense. Just get rid of him. He's terrible.
You got $14 million. So that whole group of quarterbacks we were talking about, he got the most, and he got the most from the team that he was just with. So the Patriots must believe in him, and Josh McDaniels must believe in him to bring him back again. The question that I have is, I still don't think he's going to be very good. I guess it's more of a statement. I say bullshit to him succeeding with all these weapons. I think they're still a running team. I think Belichick literally signed these tight ends and gave Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry $50 million just to be decoys in the passing game so they can continue running the ball. The receivers that he signed also, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Those guys aren't even good yet. Like Will Fuller's still out there. Juju's out there. Kenny Galladay's out there. What are you paying these other receivers for? I think it's all just a ruse to get you thinking, we're gonna have a good passing offense and still run the ball, because that's all Belichick knows how to do.
So let's look at it in a different light. Let's switch our views and say this is the best move Belichick's ever done. Do we think it's all just like, let's see where the value is and just scoop up as many mediocre players and one of these guys will pop because they were in a bad situation and somebody could be good? Because that has to be the reasoning, right? Like, go for the value.
But there's no value. He's giving out big contracts, even though the salary cap went down. And that's the part you don't understand. But let me try to make sense of that one at least.
Okay.
The NFL is expected to announce this new TV contract any day now. We know like Fox and CBS and all the networks are going to double, essentially, that's what they say, double what they paid previously. So that will go into effect in the 2022 season. And the salary cap is expected to jump up over $200 million. So now we're down to 180 right now.
Yeah.
It's going to go up like $20 million or more in the new TV contract. So Belichick's just getting ahead of the curve, where the other teams are saying, let's wait for it to happen. He's saying, I know it's going to happen.
So, but he's signing everybody to 1-year deals. So it's not like he believes in anybody.
He gave out a lot of big contracts. Cam was one, but the edge rusher Judon was multi-year. Henry and Jonnu Smith were multi-year.
Yeah.
There's some other guys in the defensive side.
All right. It just seems very, very weird to me. Nothing makes sense. So we'll see what happens in the draft. And when is the draft?
The draft is at the end of April.
Okay. End of April.
Are you pumped?
All right. I have a few more. Bullshit or believe the Jameis Winston deal. Are we believing that he will be the starter for the Saints now that Drew Brees finally announced he was retiring, even though I thought he was retiring? Then there's hints of maybe him coming back. And then they signed Jameis Winston and also whatever his name is too.
Drew Brees is an NBC guy now, which is great.
He's NBC officially.
He joined a new team. It's a new team that's out there now, which is great. Pumped for it. Jameis Winston. So I think Sean Payton made a weird deal with Taysom Hill when Brees was there. And he said, if Brees ever gets hurt, you're going to come in and you're going to get a shot. And that happened, and he did get a shot. The truth is, Jameis Winston's probably a better quarterback than Taysom Hill. I think they protected Taysom. I know he had some big games like running and play action. I think Jameis is the guy. I think it'll be real competition, which is fair and cool. Mm-hmm. I think Jameis wins the competition, probably throws for a ton of yards in a Sean Payton offense, but I don't think he's going to get rid of the interceptions, right? Like, it's never going to end.
Remember, he got LASIK. He couldn't see before. So I think this might be a new Jameis. I just don't know why they didn't try him in any games. Why was Taysom Hill start? Why was he a starter?
That was a deal Sean Payton made with the devil. I can't understand it. But what I can understand is, I think at this point, I would rather have Jameis Winston than all those other quarterbacks we've been talking about. Ahead of Cam Newton, ahead of Andy Dalton, ahead of Tyrod Taylor. But Jameis didn't get the most money, which is interesting.
Well, because he needs a deal, right? So it's a 1-year deal. So let's see what you can do. And if you're actually good, we'll resign you.
Like $4 million less than Cam for what?
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Well, what was
Cam's a running back at this point of his career.
Yes, he's so bad.
Sorry to keep harping on it, Patriots fan.
I don't know what Jameis's deal was before, because he was the third quarterback to sign on that team. But obviously they knew Drew Brees was going to leave. So some of the stuff I just
Taysom Hill was a tight end. Remember, I got to play him in fantasy as a tight end.
That was not fair at all. Another one, bullshit or believe. Ryan Fitzpatrick, your boy Fitzmagic, he is now on the Washington football team. 1 year, got $10 million. Is this bullshit or believe? Are the Washington, because they were good last year? Is this a good?
No,
move?
They weren't. They were 7-9 and they made the playoffs. They weren't good.
I thought they were good for what they were doing. Like, they had a great defense and a terrible offense. Yeah, but I thought they were okay.
The division was garbage. They had to beat the Eagles in the last week 17, and the Eagles pulled Jalen Hurts to let the Washington win. It was a debacle.
I still thought they were a decent team. I bet on them a lot. I believe
you did bet on them. Maybe they covered a lot. They didn't win a lot of games.
Yeah, I watched.
In the real world.
A lot. I watched a lot of. Washington.
You were on Washington, or like in the beginning of the season, like every week. Like, why?
Yeah,
I love better. Them. They got better. They made the playoffs. Maybe you were right.
Yeah, you're
I
in a
think
sports bar
Fitzpatrick's
right
an
now, by the way.
upgrade.
If people don't realize, you're in a sports bar. You got a TV above your head. You're there.
Got the
Yeah.
staircase. It's
Yeah,
great.
you're
We're
good
still
to
hanging
go.
out in Asheville, North Carolina. Mountains in March. Can't beat it, honestly.
Any snow?
No snow. Got a lot of fog. I was hiking in the clouds this weekend. It was great.
Okay.
So
Nice.
peaceful. Meditating. Oh, I feel amazing. So Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's going to help Washington. I think he's an upgrade over Alex Smith, who they let go. Kind of fucked up. They let Alex Smith go after the whole leg thing.
Kind of had to, right?
And then they have maybe. And then they have Tyler Heineke, who played in that playoff game. I think Fitzpatrick could get them back to 8-8, 9-7, and could win the division if Dak gets hurt again for the Cowboys. I
mean, Fitzpatrick was good on your Miami Dolphins team. I thought this is another team that has a lot of talent, young guys on the team. This could be good. He's basically like a leader that goes around and just helps young quarterbacks get better. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Like Tua, like, hey, you need to do this and try this out.
Which would make you think that Washington will move up and try to draft a quarterback in the first round. There are 5 going in the first 10 picks or so. They pick around 20th, so I don't know if they can make the move.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know what the Jets or I don't know what these moves have to be.
Deshaun Watson's still going. Okay, there's still more wrinkles to go. We're probably out on the Russell Wilson thing. If Chicago couldn't get it done, I don't know who else is on that list of teams. Like Dallas was on the list, like the Saints. Like they're all covered now.
Vegas is the only one that I think could pull something because John Gruden just will give up anything for a good quarterback.
It is possible, but I feel like he likes Derek Carr. He might be the only one, but I think he likes him. So now we turn our attention to Deshaun Watson. He will be traded. It seems like the Dolphins, the Jets, the Panthers, and the 49ers are still the teams. Because if you look at the 49ers and the Panthers, they don't have anyone yet. I know Jimmy G's on the Niners. They would love to trade Jimmy G. I think if Watson goes to the Jets, you can write in Sam Darnold in San Francisco right away. I think Shanahan loves him. The question is,
who else loves him?
Deshaun?
Pete Carroll. That was the other one that I was kind of settling on. Maybe I'll be a Sam Darnold fan. Maybe I can.
But that was an awful report, I thought, because if Pete Carroll's really sitting there saying, well, we could get rid of Russell Wilson for Sam Darnold. Like who's thinking that? Like no one even has that thought.
I don't.
It's not a good situation.
It doesn't make any sense either because you're like, who is reporting this? Like who's leaking this information to Pete? Like, who are you telling Sam Darnold's better than Russell? Like this can't be real. Unless Pete really hates Russell right now. A lot of drama.
I don't think they hate each other. It's not that public if they hate each other. It's just kind of confusing why this is all happening. So my number one, and we have a lot of weeks to talk about this, is I think Deshaun Watson goes to Carolina, number one, most likely. Jets 2 most likely, Dolphins 3 most likely. I want him. We had that exclusive report where I want him on the Dolphins in the Tua trade. I don't know if it's going to happen, but there are more moves to make. If he goes to the Jets, where does Sam Darnold go? If he goes to the Panthers, where does Teddy Bridgewater go? There's a few out there, but for the most part, the quarterbacks are sealed up outside of Deshaun and Russell.
I mean, if Deshaun comes to the 49ers, I might just jump ship now off Seahawks and just become
you have gear in the closet ready to go.
I'm ready.
Like, you'll be the first one.
I'm ready to go. Burn that Jimmy G jersey. All right. Two more deals. I mean, I guess just one more. Tyrod, he signed with the Texans. Now, I'm guessing this is like a worst case scenario sign. Like, let's get him on and see what happens in case we have to trade Deshaun, because this didn't make any sense.
Someone made a good point. Tyrod Taylor, this poor guy. I know he's made a lot of money, so probably don't feel bad for him. He goes to Cleveland and he gets injured, and then Baker Mayfield wins the job. And then he goes to LA and he's slated to start. And do you remember the team doctor punctured his lung or something? I shouldn't be laughing, but it was such a bizarre story. And then Herbert gets in there, and then he never gets to see the field. And now he's going to Houston. And the Texans fan base, now it's most likely Deshaun Watson's not there. What are those home games going to be like this year? They're gutting their roster. The head coach is a nobody that no one's ever heard of. There's no one on the team you can even name. Like Mark Ingram's their best player. They're gonna be like 0-16 type of stuff, and Tyrod's just there to make his $6 million and move on.
It's so bad. But that's what I'm saying with all these quarterbacks right now. These were the first ones to make the move, and they all just got mediocre talent. It doesn't make any sense. Like trade,
but there weren't many good ones out there, Mike.
I know, but there's potential moves you can make when people are getting desperate and the salary cap is coming down. You're like, well, let's save some money. Let's get rid of Garoppolo.
Right, the Rams got done with Stafford. The Colts, say what you want, but they're making a run with Wentz. It's better than like what other teams are doing, like we've been talking about. At least they're trying with a guy who's been to a Super Bowl. Tyrod's just not it.
You want to do J-Dog takes on?
Let's do Big Dick Energy first.
Oh, Big Dick. All right. Where's the Big Dick one? I got that somewhere. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
He's got it.
Big Dick Energy, winner of the week.
All right, go back to the soundboard. We need one more for our boy Gronk staying in Tampa.
Okay.
Yo soy Fiesta.
There it is.
I just want to give
soy
my big dick
fiesta.
energy to Gronk. The guy came out of retirement, came out of nowhere. He's back with the Bucs. He got $10 million. Is he even worth that? Did he catch any balls prior to the playoffs? Does he only need to play for the playoffs? Congrats to Gronk. Congrats to the Bucs. Look what they did. They won the Super Bowl, and they did something that no team can ever do when you win a Super Bowl. They kept all their top talent on the edge rusher. Shaq Barrett's had all these sacks. They gave him a huge deal. Chris Godwin, the receiver, young, up and coming. They franchise tagged him. They're going to pay him $18 million. No one cares. They're keeping their team intact, which is so hard to do when you win a Super Bowl. Props to Gronk. Props to Brady. Props to the Bucs.
I like it. I think it's a great big dick energy. I think they just love Florida. I think they're just loving the weather. After being in Boston for so many years, you can appreciate some nice warm weather during football season and go on like your boat instead of going on the ice. I also have a big dick energy too. This is going to our boy Colin Cowherd. He just scooped up the Action Network's Chad Millman sports gambling show. He just bought the rights to a show to put it on, I guess, Colin Cowherd's like Herd Network podcast.
Cowherd's got a new brand, the Volume Sports brand, which is separate from Fox. Cowherd is the CEO and owns it, so he's doing some M&A, mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, I like it. I thought that was the big move. He likes the sports gambling. I don't understand how it works though when you're at one company and then you get bought out, but you're still working with that company, but you're technically under the rights of this. I don't understand it at all, but I
hope it happens to us and we find out.
I hope so too. But good for Colin Cowherd scooping up shows, putting it on the network. Because I do like Chad Millman. I have his book. He used to work with Scooch out in Vegas, and I went to see Scooch, and he signed my book. I great. Well, I like his podcast.
There's a lot there. Do you still listen to Chad Millman now? Does he help you with the Super Contest?
I listen to Chad Millman. I don't listen to him as much. There's an expert gambler on there. I listen to him. Chad Millman is a little wild. Like, I don't think I know he knows gambling really well, but he plays like he doesn't know gambling because he lived in Vegas for years following sports gamblers around, and that's what his book's about. So it's interesting how not that he plays dumb, but he just is like the audience almost when there's experts on. It's almost like a little show in a way, but it's interesting. I mean, with a professional sports gambler, I think it's so interesting, their theories and thoughts and like how they model everything. It's a whole big business. One day we'll be there, Jeremy. One day we'll win the Super
We'll be there. Well, I was going to say, I mean, Cowherd can acquire us. Like, we are not expensive. We have an agent ready to talk, and we are also available to join the Volume Network.
Yeah, we are totally available. We're free agents. We'll sell
all of our. We'll give you all of our ad inventory. We'll give it right away.
Yeah, we have. We own the rights to the Sports Hangover. We got the trademark. We're ready to go. Take it. We're ready. We're available. Yeah, so he got my big dick energy. Good for Colin Cowherd. I'm gonna look it up. The Volume Network.
He also just survived. Like, he had a blood clot in his lung or something. He's in the hospital for a while. I saw him the other day. He has a mustache now. He's going full rogue during quarantine. Just a few weeks left here until we're all vaxxed up, I think.
Hopefully, very, very soon. What else you got?
We can do J-Dog Takes On.
All right, I know where that one is.
J-Dog Takes On.
Mike, we haven't had this segment much during COVID, and it's because our sponsor, Baha Mar, was not having guests to the Bahamas. But you know what? With the vaccine in play and 20% of Americans now fully vaccinated, you too can go to the Baha Mar in the Bahamas. And that is who's sponsoring J-Dog Takes On. Great opportunity to spend a weekend, get out of the weather. They have great drinks. They have casino. They have pool. They have
Why haven't they held
like? Why aren't we doing your bachelor party there?
No. Bachelor party is going to be somewhere else, much dirtier than that. Why are you not staying at the Baha Mar? Why are you not there right now? You should have just been living at the Baha Mar.
Well, Mike, as you know, you need a vaccine to go international, and I do not have the vaccine. So I am not there. Okay. I am not jumping the line for the vaccine. I want to, but I'm not yet. And so in Florida, we're just a few days away.
Okay, good.
Okay, J-Dog Takes On. NFTs. What the hell is a non-fungible token? You talked about it briefly a couple weeks ago. I want you to educate the audience briefly here. And I also want to talk about NFTs and Top Shot. So it is a crossover with sports. And there's this app, I guess. Top Shot app that has
it's a
NBA
website.
highlights. It's a web page. It's not even an app. They don't even have
It's a website.
R&D to have an app.
It's like topshots.com. You can go there and you can
and you get one snippet of a
Yeah.
basketball highlight. It's only NBA right now. I don't know of any like NFL
Yeah.
type stuff. It's only NBA.
Yeah.
And so it's like picture LeBron running down the court and dunking a basketball. And that is the NFT.
Mhm.
That is the licensed NFT on Top Shot. Now I saw a friend of mine last week. A friend of mine. He's waiting around. He's waiting around for NFTs. He gets one on Top Shot. He buys it for $14. It was some random ass play from a dude on the Raptors, maybe Kyle Lowry. I don't even know what it was. It wasn't even that special. It was just a play, whatever. Then he turns around and sold the same NFT for $240 right after he bought it for $14 for an instant $230 return. And I'm sitting there like, I do all this research for the stock market all week long, and I come out with $200 and I'm happy. And this dude just did it right in front of me like it was nothing.
The NFTs for that, it's an interesting market because it's like the first way of having a digital card that identifies what version you have without having to take it to an expert. It just knows because it's built into the contract of that card. I like it. I like the idea of it. People are going wild over it. I have not been able to buy one of these things. I almost decided just to buy a few like on secondary market on Top Shot because you can actually go on there and buy them.
Now, would you buy them to sell them or would you buy them to keep them?
I think right now you can buy and sell, but if you buy and hold and it's a rare one, I would hold it at this point and just see what you can do. You can start displaying them digitally on your TV or wherever you want to do. I think it's interesting because people are trying to figure out the best way to do it. And I think a lot of artists are going to come out with exclusive ways of having rights to an album, or for instance, like the Sports Hangover, we could sell our NFT, the Sports Hangover trading cards, right? And every trading card comes with a share of equity into the Sports Hangover, or every share, if you have enough of these sports cards or collect enough, you can then turn those in for a custom Sports Hangover t-shirt or whatever you can do. So if you can make them do something for you, I think that's where everybody kind of wants to take it. But
and that makes sense if it's a snippet of a concert that no one else owns and you own it and it's your favorite artist. That makes sense. This NBA highlight, this 6-second NBA highlight, that is very nondescript. It's not like the best player ever.
Yeah,
it's like a card, but it's right now. It's only a video. It's only a video for 6 seconds, and I don't know why it's valuable. I don't quite understand why it has value.
Well, it's like the art world, right? We tried explaining why do art collectors collect art, because you can have a lot of value. Like the other guy, Beeble, just sold his piece of art, his digital art, for $69 million. This guy put out a piece of art every day for 15 years. Probably not getting paid for any of this artwork. Put it out. Somebody bid it up for $69 million. Now he has $69 million richer in his bank because of this NFT version of his piece of art. But I think it's just more about investments. Like some people love buying cars and investing into them and selling vintage cars. It's kind of the same way. Like, I don't care about that. I'm not into that. But I think this is the art world version of it. And I think NBA, I think they got the right idea. People love the sports trading card world right now. And this is the next level because you can guarantee the authenticity of it. And I think it's going somewhere. So if you can grab them, I would hold them. Don't lose your wallet either. Because that's,
it was a J-Dog Takes On, so it came out of a place of negativity because I was pissed off. Why does a 6-second video matter? But I do understand whether it's music or art makes more sense because there's more value to it. But again, like the digital art that people sold, like how do you display that in your home? Like what's the point of owning this expensive art if you can't display it and show it off?
You get a digital frame and you put it in your digital frame and display it. Yeah.
You might as well just get a real painting and a real frame.
Well, you could, but it might just be a fake or a print. I'm just saying, I think that's the way of looking at it. Like I have prints in my room right now, but imagine this was a digital display saying this is everything's digital. Money's digital. Your credit cards are digital. You're buying stuff online that's digital. This is digital right now. You know, like we're in real life, but we're displaying it digitally. That's the future. And if art goes that way, I think it makes sense. And this is a way to guarantee at least you have the one that you bought. And I think that's the hard part in sports and sports. Like, you know, I have a signed Gretzky jersey right behind this camera. I have no clue if it's real or fake. It costs a lot of money. Maybe I could go get it.
It's real to you, and you can display it, and you can look at it. The NFTs are a lot harder to visually see. It's the same thing with like taking all our pictures on our iPhone. Like if you don't print them out and display them in some way, they don't have as much value as they used to.
You know
when
what?
you displayed pictures.
You know what I just downloaded? There's this thing called Chat Books, and I put it on my phone. Every month, I pay $10, and they print out a book of 30 photos, and they send me a new book every single month of photos of the month that I select and put into the book.
Photos from your phone.
From my phone, yeah. So I'm just taking a ton of pictures, and then every month I get to pick 30 photos that were about that month, so you can kind of throw it in there. So that's where you really have to.
There are
like,
workarounds. We just have to get down. It's like a secondary source to bring it all to life.
Well, yeah, it's like we have been doing video podcasting for 10 years, but it took a pandemic for everybody to figure out how to actually do it because no one knew how to do this before. Right?
Yeah.
It just takes
we're
one
still
little.
Here. It's true.
We're still here. We're still here.
We're actually still here.
Yeah, we're still here. You know, we've done like over 5 or almost 600 shows over the past 10 years, I think.
That's crazy.
A lot of shows.
People don't understand the amount of preparation and homework that goes into each one of them.
Hours and hours of it. I got nothing else. If you want to check out the sportshangover.com, do you got anything else?
No, maybe people can buy our shirts.
Yeah, buy the shirts. There's a lot of swag on the sportshangover.com. I will put up some new shirts are coming their way. We'll put up some new summer swag up there. We got to, of course, have our classic 4th of July swag. That's our best seller, I think, ever. The USA t-shirt.
The blue USA t-shirt.
Great.
Yeah, we need them. That's
the best one. The Tanks. You got to go Tanks because this summer is wild. You're partying out with the vaccine.
Oh, it's the roaring 20s. We're entering a new era, baby.
Check out the sportshangover.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Sports Hangover Podcast. And if we molested, be able to abused. Hopefully we are back next week.